Hello, I'll get my books straightened out there. Hello and welcome to uh, Heracles Mad Episode 2. In our last exciting episode, we saw um, the 12. The chorus had just finished reciting the choral ode of the 12 Othloi, the 12 labors of Heracles, and so we begin with the entrance of Megara. You'll notice that episodes begin structurally with the entrance of a character after the chorus has sung. So Megara enters with more lamentation for her impending death, preparing her children for their death, and Amphitryon, again, the emblem of hope, and hope being a theological virtue. Amphitryon makes it theological by praying to Zeus to come and help them. Zeus, by the way, this many commentators have called this a supplication play because there was a kind of a subgenre of ancient Greek tragedy called a supplication play where a major character would place him or herself under the protection of Zeus in the ritual of supplication, and that's what Amphitryon does now. The helplessness of these characters, traditionally they are widows or old men. Here we have both. Megara thinks she's a widow. Amphitryon, an old man with who if he had his normal youthful strength, he could stand up to perhaps to Lycus, but he's a feeble old man. So he prays, and almost in answer to his prayer, Heracles appears very suddenly here. So this creates the kind of thing that J.R.R. Tolkien called a eucatastrophe. We talked in the last video about the structural term catastrophe, and this is a eucatastrophe, a good catastrophe, where the moment at which maybe he should have called it an anastrophe. Ana would be upward, so perhaps, but at any rate, the Heracles appears, and Amphitryon and Megara are speechless. Ha, old friend, is it my own, my dearest I behold, or what am I to say? And Amphitryon says, I know not, my daughter, I too am struck dumb. And Heracles uses infernal imagery here to remind the audience, us, that he's just returned from the underworld to the place of utter darkness. All hail, says Heracles as he enters. Now notice how they see him before he appears. This is a great technique. The critics borrowed a term from Homer, Tychoscopia. We'll be seeing that in when we study Homer's Iliad. We'll be seeing in Book 4 the Tychoscopia, the looking over the wall. And so it takes its name from Helen looking over the wall, looking at things that you can see from a distance. Dramatists or drama critics borrowed this term to talk about this great technique for limited staging. When you can't, when there's something too big to show on a little stage, you can use this technique of looking off stage and describing what you see, and that's what they do here. They see Heracles coming before he appears, and then the actor playing Heracles walks on stage and says, "All hail, my house and portals of my home! How glad am I to emerge to the light and see thee." He's coming out of the darkness of the underworld. So Megara catches him up to speed. She tells Heracles the things that we already know of the usurpation of power by Lycus. Heracles just goes into immediate rage and says that he's going to kill Lycus. "First I will go raise this upstart tyrant's halls. Farewell my labors," he says. "Everything that I've done is in vain, for it was in vain I accomplished them rather than succored these." I did these great things for people. What he's trying to express here is that he does all of these great things for people and he can't save his own children. Okay. that sets up even more anguish for what happens in the catastrophe. Um, so Heracles tells about bringing back Cerberus and leaving him in Eurystheus' palace, tells about freeing Theseus, and then the chorus comes out. So this would be the end of um, episode 2, beginning of episode, and leading into episode 3. The chorus comes out and once again condemns the nature of old age. And so we'll meet again in episode 3.